Hello, welcome back. I'm Abhishek De Silva, an undergraduate of the Jama Institute for Advanced Technology. Hello, welcome back with the project named eShop, and today we are going to describe about the program of the user sign-in process. So, if I describe a little about the design of this user sign-in, here I have used a label called email, and I have given an input field for that, and also the password and the relevant input field for that, and I have given a checkbox called remember me, and I have given a text named forget password, and two buttons as sign in and new to eShop. This button brings us back to the registration part, and here's when you click on sign in, the sign process takes place. So then let's see the coding of this. Here's the coding for the design of the sign-in books. As in the sign up design, here too I have used the message div, and then here's the mail label and the input field, and I have given separate ID named email to. Next the password label, and I have given a separate ID as password to obtain the values inserted in these two input fields. And then here's the checkbox I have used in the remember me option, and then the link password as forget password, and here's the sign button, and here's the new to eShop join now button. And when you click on the sign in button, a function called sign in is called. I given that with the on click attribute and call a function called sign in. So let's move to the JavaScript page. In the sign in function, here I have obtained elements with the IDs email to, and I have stored that in a variable called email, and then I have obtained the element with the ID named password to, and I have stored that element in the variable called password, and then the element with the ID remember me, and then storing that in the variable called remember me. And then here too I'm using post method, as the sensitive information also contains here like password. So as I told you in the previous video, we are not able to create any forms in JavaScript, so we are using form which is similar to form, namely the named form data. So we are creating a new form data, and I'm storing that in a variable called form, and then I'm appending these information to that form as a name value pair. So giving a name at first, and then I'm giving the value to append, and here I'm giving the variable named email, and then I'm giving the value of that. I'm giving the value of that, and I'm appending that information in this variable called form. Likewise the password, the value of password with the name p, and appending that to the form, and they remember me, and I'm checking whether if this is checked. As this is a checkbox, I'm checking whether if this checkbox is checked, and then with the name r, I'm appending that also in this form. And then we are creating our XML HTTP request and storing that in a variable called request. And then I'm checking the changes of the state of this request by assigning it to an anonymous function. So in this anonymous function, inside this I'm checking some conditions. So I'm using an if condition here. I'm checking the ready state of this request equal to 4, whether this ready state is equal to 4. So whether the status of this request is equal to 200. If these two conditions are okay, then this coding executes, and then we are getting the response text sent by the server side the request, and storing that in a variable called response here. And then again we are using if condition and check whether the response text sent by the server side is equal to success. If so, we are changing the location of the window to the home.php. If the response text is not equal to success, displaying that message in the message div by getting the element with the ID called message1, and giving the HTML the response we get from the server side, and also we are obtaining the element with the ID called message div, and given a class name called dblock, as we have given the dnone class to this message div. I will show you that. Here I have given the dnone class, it means the display none. Here I'm giving display block when any error has occurred. And then we are telling about the sending process of this information through the request.open. We are giving the method we are using the post method, and I'm giving the file that we are sending this information. We are sending the information to the signing process.php file, and I'm using two value here to represent. I'm using ajax method here, and then I'm sending the request with the form we have created. And then let's move to the signing process.php file. At the very beginning, I have started a session as session start, and then I have included the connection.php file, which includes the connection code with our database. And next, I have obtained the values we get from these names as the email, which comes through the method called post, and is storing that in a variable called email. As we send the value of the email with the name e here, we are obtaining the value with the same name here through the post method, and similarly the password through the post method, and storing that in a variable called password. And then the r that we use to check whether the remember me is checked, storing that in a remember me variable. And then we are checking whether the email field is empty. Here too we are doing some validations. We are checking the email field is empty. If so, we are displaying a message like please enter your email address. If the email field is not empty, then it comes the next else if condition, and it checks whether the password field is empty. If so, displaying a message as please enter your password. If these two are not empty, if the email and password fields are not empty, then it comes to the else condition. It executes this coding. Here I have called the search function that we have created in the connection.php file, and I'm given a query select all from user, where email equals to the email we have got, and the password which is equal to the password we have got from the client side. And then I'm storing the result we obtained in a variable called rs, and then I'm checking the number of rows in it, and storing the number of rows in it in a variable called n, and I'm checking whether the number of rows is equal to 1. If a user has signed in our application, only one user can be there with the same email and the same password. So that's why we are checking whether the number of rows we have obtained is equal to 1, and if so, we are displaying a message as we are sending the message to the client side as success. And then I'm using the fetch as part and storing that in a variable called d, and storing that variable d in a session named u. Then we are checking some information in a if condition whether the me is equal to true. If so, we are setting a cookie with the name email and giving the email we have got, and I'm giving the time of expiration as 1 year. This get the real time, and I'm adding 60 seconds, 60 minutes, and 24 hours, and 365 days. And next, I'm again setting a cookie with the name password and storing the password we have obtained. If the user has not checked in the remember me option, setting a cookie as named email without giving any value here, and we are setting the -1 as the expiration. It means just now it expires, so it destroys just now. Another set cookie as password and no value, not setting any value here, and expiration time as -1, so this destroys. Then the else condition of this, if the number of rows is not equals to 1, that means any user has to sign up from that email and password, and then we are displaying a message as invalid email or password. In the script.js file, we are checking the response whether is equal to success, sending a message as success if the number of rows is equal to 1, that is obtained here. And then we are changing the location of the door to our home page, and this is the process and the signing part. And then next, maybe the next video on the development of the remember me add-on for signing process. Remember me add-on this checkbox, we are discussing about this and in the next video, and count for it and bye for now.